Well, friends, it's my distinct pleasure to welcome everybody to our 5,624th meeting today. I have the easy job today. First of all, Shelby, do we have the bell? There you go. Meeting is now open, and it's my pleasure to pass the baton on to Alida. Because today it is her show and it's the JOB1 program. And if Alida can find her way back to the mic, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone in the room. Jennifer. I know you just gotta call people out as it is. Hello, everyone. Everyone in the room, you didn't hear our wonderful President Timo open our meeting, welcoming us to the 5,624th meeting of the Rotary Club of Chicago. I want to welcome all of our guests and students here today and our wonderful employers to being here with us today as we celebrate another year of JOB1. A short overview of JOB1. JOB1 is our summer internship program, our flagship program for Rotary Club of Chicago, in which we go out and recruit Chicago high school juniors and seniors to give them a productive and wonderful summer internship opportunity with various different organizations and employers throughout the city of Chicago, along with going out and recruiting wonderful employers that pay our students whatever the going minimum wage is at that time. Because as most of us know, high school students really don't have to be paid the going minimum wage, but we want our students to be engaged. We want our students to understand money management, and we want them to understand what it is to work in a wonderful business environment. So with that requires our employers to pay them like they would pay any of their other employees. They have wonderful 8 to 10 week internships with those employers where they work side by side with other cohorts and people in their community. We also work with a lot of nonprofits like a Safe Haven that we work with, in which we also reimburse all of our nonprofits 50% of what they pay to our interns at the end of the summer, because we understand that nonprofits may not have all the resources that they need, but there's such a great opportunity for students to learn what it is to give back and what it is to work at a nonprofit, because so many of them don't understand what nonprofits do and all the work that nonprofits put into the community. So today, we have 27th Ward Alderman Walter Burnett, who's going to speak to us. He's a wonderful alderman who has done such great work. We have partnered with him and the Jesse White Foundation to do the Jesse White trunk party that we have done now for 10, is it 10 years? 8 years. I'm putting extra years in there. But he's been a great ally and working with us to help that trunk party happen, in which we give out 500 trunks to students going off to college first time, many of them first people in their families to go off to college, and we give them trunks full of all the things that you need to go off to college. They get pillows and sheets and towels and all of that. And all of our students in the JOB1 program are a part of helping either put those trunks together or helping us distribute them to those students. And many of our students have also been recipients of those trunks. So they see the entire process of what it means to put 500 trunks together and all the work that it takes to put that into it. Because we're a service organization, they have to understand the service part that goes with being a part of your community. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Alderman Burnett up to speak to us. Thank you.
I didn't know I was coming up this soon. Let me make sure I have any food. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you very much for that introduction, Alita. It's a pleasure being here. I really would like to first of all commend this great organization of business and civic people and volunteer folks who volunteer throughout the city of Chicago. Thank you all for your contribution for over 117 years. All of you guys look very, very young to be around so long. We really appreciate everything that you all do for the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, and also the things that you all contribute all over the world. From what I understand, just talking to some of the Rotary Club members briefly, that you all have contributed to a lot of things in our nation, to help our nation in a lot of different ways, and that's to be commended. So it's wonderful to be in your presence, and it's an honor for me to be here. You know, young people, some of you are probably like, okay, what is an alderman, right? How many of you all know what an alderman is? Okay, yeah, y'all barely, I'm talking about the young people. I know everybody feel like they're young, right? Well, we represent the city council in the city of Chicago. I'm alderman in the city of Chicago. I represent an area in the city, sort of in the central area. I represent the Old Town community, the Near North area where the old Cabrini Green used to be. You know, it's funny today, some young people don't even know what Cabrini Green is, right? I don't know if y'all look at Good Times, but Good Times, the series Good Times was in Cabrini Green. Also, the Greek Town community, the West Loop area, Fulton Market, Goose Island, which is an industrial area, the medical district, which is where all the hospitals are, like Rush Hospitals, UIC, Veterans Hospital, all of those things, Malcolm X, right? Also, we represent West Humboldt Park and East Garfield Park and Eckhart Park. So we represent a very diverse community, and I've been doing that for a long time. And I thank God I've been an alderman for 27 years, even though I only look like I'm 30, and 27 years. These young folks ain't laughing. You all not laughing at my jokes, but anyway, only the older people get those things. But so I just want to share a couple of stories with you all. First of all, I want to commend you young folks for taking on the opportunities to get an internship, right? And I say that because even today, with so many jobs out here in society, there's young people still standing around and they won't go get a job. They won't take on an opportunity. You literally have to have job fairs, and you literally had to like drag folks to come and take on opportunities. So I want to commend you all for doing that. And I have a story. I went to Wells High School. I grew up in Cabrini Green. So we done seen a lot of things that some of you all may have seen today in this society for young people. There's a lot of challenges being young today, right? And there's a lot of peer pressure, and there's a lot of obstacles that you all may have to go through just going to school, right? And also dealing with social media. A lot of things you see on social media, a lot of things people say to each other on social media. So I know you all have to deal with a lot of things that we never had to deal with, right? Somebody can say something about us out south, but we would never know about it till like maybe a month later. He said something about you, right? So you all live in a whole different world, and it's much faster. And you have so much information, and you see so many things. So, you know, I grew up in Cabrini, which at that time was like Inglewood is today, right? It was the Inglewood of today, where there's a lot of challenges, a lot of crime, a lot of, you know, a lot of obstacles for young people, a lot of peer pressure, which, you know, but a lot of things was common to us because we lived around it, right? And so I went through some bumps in my life, but I went to school. One of the things for me was that I made sure I went to school because my mom would literally, back in those days, they used to whoop you, right? She would kick my butt if I didn't go to school. Right? I'm just being real with you, right? And so I had to go to school, had to finish high school. So I went to Wells High School, and in my sophomore year, someone told me They said, you know, you can go talk to your counselor and you can get a job. I saw a kid at school who was working, you know, and I grew up in Cabrini in the projects. We were poor. My mom was on public aid. I'm like, man, I can, you know, I want to get a job. So I went to my counselor, and my counselor, she directed me to an outfit called Warner Printing. Warner Printing Company was on Jefferson and Randolph, right? And I tell you how God worked. God just set everything up for you in life. So Warner Printing was on Jefferson and Randolph. So I used to go there, and what they would have me do is deliver printing to everyone downtown. So I'd never been downtown. So they'd give me a map and they'd send me to these offices downtown. And, you know, here I am, a kid from the projects, never been downtown. And I'm delivering these packages and looking at all these people working downtown and walking around and they busy. And it's like, man, it's like I'm in a twilight zone, right? It's like, you know, all this exciting stuff going on. And I'm looking at, you know, some folks that look like me, all dressed up in suits and ties and, you know, pretty ladies with nice dresses and purses and, you know, and guys with suits on. And I'm like, wow, this is great. I never saw this before. They didn't dress like that in my neighborhood, right? And so I'm downtown and you know, I'm a young kid, a teenager, and I'm delivering these packages and I had to go to these offices. And, you know, I would speak to everyone and I try to be nice and cordial and people would be so nice to you and you deliver the packages and you see all these beautiful offices. I'm like, oh my God, people work. These places look like museums, you know, they had a hard wood on the walls and it's all shiny and marble and, you know, and I'm like, wow, it's like, wow, this is like a whole new world for me. So I deliver the packages and, you know, one day I go to this place called the First National Bank and they send me up to the boardroom and I deliver some printing to them. And I see this big executive room and I'm delivering packages to the president's office. And I'm like amazed how beautiful it is. So, you know, I go back and, you know, and this was just a great introduction to me to a whole new world that I never seen, right? I never even thought that folks that look like me will have jobs downtown and be working and be so professional and all of those things. So I looked at it and I worked that job. And then after that, later on, I ended up getting a job at Burger King downtown. And I got to meet a lot of folks over on State and Chicago Avenue. I got to meet a lot of different people over there. And that was a great experience for me. And still went to high school. And then I ended up at 16, I ended up getting a job. This is how God works. I ended up getting a job at that bank, at the First National Bank, right? And I ended up becoming a maintenance man for that organization. And I literally ended up being one of the guys, we used to move the furniture for big meetings and everything. So I would go to that office that I used to deliver paper to and printing to that big space that I delivered to. And I would have to move that furniture for the meetings. And we used to set up the furniture for the meetings, the chairs, the tables, move the desks, everything for the meetings. And I would see all these executives come in from the bank in their suits and ties and hear the president and look at them speak. Then years later, fast forwarding, God blessed me along the way to become an elected official. And I get a call to come to a meeting to meet the president of the bank. It wasn't a First National Bank at that time. They changed banks, changed the name of the bank. And I go to meet the president in that office. And I'm like, so he was like, you know, I probably spent too much time talking about I used to work here. And just grateful to God how, you know, things just set up. How, you know, when you put stuff in, it comes back to you. when you see things, you can be things. So now I'm in the office in my suit and tie, talking to the president. And the president is asking me for something. The president of the bank. Here I was a young person delivering stuff to his office, and older than that, moving his furniture and setting up their meetings. And it's just, you know, I say that to say, young people, you never know where life will take you. You know, you never know, you know, who you're meeting, who you're talking to, what type of relationships you can build. And then I go to another story. Remember coming home from college, I went to school, took up drafting, mechanical drafting. So I went on an interview with the county. I got involved, volunteered with Jesse White and George Dunn, right, in their organization. And I tell you, volunteering opened up so many doors for me. I wouldn't have met Mr. White if I never volunteered, right? So I volunteered, and I go on an interview in the county for the Cook County Highway Department for civil engineers. They drew the streets and the highways. We probably drew some of these streets out here. And I go on an interview, and, you know, coming out of school, and you all gonna find this when you graduate from college, right? You all are gonna find out when you graduate from college that you're gonna be up on the most latest technology, the most latest processes, everything that they're not even using on some of your jobs that you go to. So I go on this interview, and they give me a test to be a draftsman. They give me a drafting test. Well, when I was at school, we were working on CADs, computer aided drafting. All of the offices and industries didn't have it yet. So even the highway department, when I went for a test there, you know, to try to get the job, they were still drawing on paper and pencil. So I had to do this. I'm like, oh man, this is easy. I draw it real fast. And the guy looked at my paper. He said, okay, you need to go down to human resources and give them this. So he gives me a piece of paper. It says draftsman 1, right? So he sent me down to human resources. So I go down to human resources, and the guy that I see in human resources, it says, Mr. Bocan. And I'm looking at this, Mr. Bocan. I used to have a grammar school teacher named Mr. Bocan in Cabrini Green. And Mr. Bocan was tough, right? Mr. Bocan, you know, back then the kids was kind of rough, and he used to have to handle them a little bit to keep them straight. But I was one of those kids that I knew if I had to do anything with a teacher, and not only will I get it by the teacher, I get it at home too, right? So I was one of those kids who just kept my head low and did what I had to do. So, you know, the teacher would probably consider me to be a nice student, right? So I go down, and it's Mr. Bocan. And he comes up to me and he say, Walter, how you doing? He said, oh, I'm so happy to see you. He hugs me, and you know, it's like a reunion, and he's hugging me and everything. And I'm like, how you doing, Mr. Bocan? And oh, wow. And he's looking at my credentials and looking at my degrees and everything. He's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, this is fantastic. Let me see, you come here to get a job. He said, let me see what they gave you. And he's a Jewish guy, right? And Mr. Bocan look at it, he say, they gave you a draftsman 1. He tore it up, he threw it away. He threw it away, and he said, here, we're gonna give you a draftsman 2. I got a promotion in one day. One day I got a promotion, but I got a promotion because you never know what you do today, how it's gonna affect you in the future. So I thought about, what if I was like some of those other young people, and I know we on Zoom, so I'm not gonna say any of their names, but who was always fighting the teacher, who's always keeping up trouble, right? Who wasn't paying attention in school. What if I was one of them? Would Mr. Bocan come and get him a hug? You know, would he be so proud? Would he tear up their paper and give them a raise in one day? No. So I say all of that to say, it's important what you do today. Everything that you do today can have an effect on you in the future. I'll give you one more story. One more. So my baby brother was a tumbler. He was on the Jesse White tumbling team. My mom volunteered. I was a precinct captain in the 42nd Ward. So Mr. White was a state rep. So he used to, every year we would give out turkeys and hams in the precinct. So he would go and raise money, get turkeys and hams, give them to all the precinct captains, and then we pass them out, right? So, every precinct captain just thought, okay, Mr. White gonna bring us the turkeys and hams. This is like in the 80s, 90s, he gotta be about in the 60s or so, so he load them up, he brings them to us. We get them. We know all of us used to be upset because they didn't come on time, right? Where's my stuff? Where's my turkeys and ham? Like, we raised the money and we did everything to get them, but everybody just took that for granted. So I'm like, okay, let me go see what's going on. So I go over to the office and I see Mr. White. He's in the office loading turkeys and hams by himself. Loading turkeys and hams in the van, and then trying to deliver them to all these precincts to help these people, to give them to people. And people in the community expected them. It used to be, when you first give somebody a turkey or a ham, they'll say, oh, thank you for your turkey. Thank you for my turkey and ham. Then it becomes, when you go to them, they'd be like, where's my turkey and ham, right? It's not that you gave them anything. It's like, where is my turkey and ham? So I go over there and I see him working by himself. I'm like, Mr. White, what you doing? Let me help you. So I'm like, so instead of just helping him take it to my precinct, I help him take it to other precincts. I'm like, let me get mine. I take mine where it goes. I say, let me help you with the rest of them. So next thing I know, I'm helping him taking turkeys and hams, not only just in the precincts, come to find out he was delivering them all over his state representative district, right? So I just started volunteering. And I started helping him more and more. I started seeing that even with the tumblers, he would be doing all of the tumbling stuff by himself, taking the kids to buy their clothes, getting them shoes, making sure they dress right, sometimes even combing their hair, giving them grease for their face, all kind of stuff. So we would help out. And I kept volunteering and kept volunteering. Next thing I know, he gets an opportunity to run for Cook County Recorder of Deeds. So I had been volunteering with him. I asked the committeeman, I'm like, committeeman, can I work on Mr. White's campaign? Can I help him run for Cook County Recorder of Deeds? He said, sure, Walter, go ahead. So I go with him all over the county, helping him run for Cook County Recorder of Deeds. I had just became the chairman of the Young Democrats of Cook County. I don't know if Mr. White knew this, but I was recruiting kids everywhere that I went when we went around the county. And I got to meet all kind of elected officials, all types of business people. It just opened up so many doors for me volunteering with him. And he won that office. And God blessed me where he asked me to come and be one of his administrative assistants. And I say all of that to say, young people, after becoming his administrative assistant, he also helped me to become alderman of the 27th. But if I hadn't have stepped up and volunteered to help him pass out those turkeys and hams, maybe if I wasn't a good student at school, maybe if I didn't want to take that humbling job and moving loads of stacks of paper down the street on a thing to all of those downtown offices, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today. So I just want you all to know, whatever you put in, no matter how big it is or how small it is, do your best. Do it with all your heart. The sky's the limit. You all have a great future before you. While you at school, you're in high school right now. Some of you, you're getting ready to go to college. Meet as many people as you can. Meet as many people as you can, build relationships, network like these folks. I guarantee you some of these people probably do some business together and probably met each other being involved in this organization. Meet as many people as you can, but always help as many people as you can. And when you do that, God will give it back to you tenfold. You can be a kid from Cabrini Green, raised on public aid, and God will bless you to be somebody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alderman Burnett. I couldn't say it any better. I was preaching that to you all for 2 weeks. He said it all for me. Now I would love to introduce all of our wonderful interns to you all today. So all of our interns will get, so our students go through training for 3 weeks. This time was online and in person. You know, we're trying to get back. And I always tell them when they go to an interview to go prepared. Have paper and pen. Have another copy of your resume, because how many of us have been there and they have no idea who they're interviewing. And they're like, I don't know. And you're just like, oh, here's a copy of my resume. We do mock interviews, and I always point out, like, make sure you have a pen or a pencil with you. They're like, no, I'll just put it on my phone. No, take notes during the interview, because it shows that you are paying attention and that you care about this job and this interview. But also to make sure you have a nice pen or pencil. So I'm giving you all your first nice pen and pencil to take to your further interviews, because all the impressions matter as you go through. So my first student is Maya Banks, and she worked at a safe haven this summer. Oh, Maya. Gotta take all the pictures. Jada Caesar, who also worked at a safe haven. Ashley Griffin, who worked at Navy Pier. Marisol Hamada, who worked with me at Loquacious Culinary Events this summer. Grace, I always say Grace's last name wrong, so we're just gonna say Grace. She's not here. I believe Grace was online. Grace had to go to an orientation at college today, so she couldn't be here today. Eduardo Mora, who worked at and this is Eduardo's second year with us in JOB1. He was with us as a junior last year also. And Alexa. And she worked at Alliance Francaise. Then I would like all of them are not here, but We had a safe haven. I believe they're online. Sorry. Alliance Francaise, which was a new employer we got this year, and they were really excited. We had Arlo Law Firm. Yes. Oh, come on up. No Spanish. Sorry. All right. Sorry. I don't need to introduce myself. Pier is not here. I'm sorry. And we had Navy Pier, who was also one of our new employers this year, who took a majority of my students and made it hard for me to get them to go anyplace else. Because who wouldn't want to spend the summer working at Navy Pier and guest services? But I would like to say that Navy Pier was massively impressed with our students, and they just said if I could have all of them this summer, we would take them all. Thank you all for not all going to Navy Pier. And then the Roscoe Company was Jim Buick and Terry, who have been some of our longest supporters and employers. So we also give out college awards to our students going off to college, because we all understand college is very expensive. And for many of our students, in the last year, we have decided to allow our returning students to come back and reapply. Because as we've all figured out, college doesn't get cheaper as you go along. As you would think, classes get smaller, you get more specialized, it gets more expensive the longer that you're in college. And we always tell our students that we are here for them long-term, not just for that one summer, but we are here moving forward with them. So this year, one of our returning students, Teresa Pan, is getting a $2,500 scholarship. And one of my returning students, and now a senior going off to college, Eduardo Mora, is also receiving a $2,000 scholarship. So now we have a wonderful award called the Carl Zimmerman Award. And I would like to invite his mother, Kathy Zimmerman, to come up. Yeah, she gets to say a few words.
Okay, it's very bright. Good afternoon, everybody. It's just such a pleasure to be here. Carl, a member of the Rotary Club of Chicago, felt so, education was so important to him. And he knew that with students, with internship programs would give them an opportunity, a leg up to find out about the world of work. And not only that, employers would find out about the quality of these students and support them in a number of ways. So it was a program that was just dear to Carl's heart. And he worked closely with Alita and the rest of the committee. So I'm from Wisconsin, and I wanted to come down today because this program just is in my heart. So thank you very much. And I want to wish the interns the just very best for your future. Thank you.
So Carl Zimmerman owned a wonderful company called Steadfast that merged with another company this year. And it was data, cloud storage, and IT. And so part of getting this award is that you're working somewhat in a STEM field or that. We chose 2 students, both of them are returning. They're finished their first years in college. And I just wanted to read what one of our students who is here today said on her application. And it just touched me in such a way, and it just reminded me of how much Carl would have appreciated these words from her. So when I applied for JOB1 internship last summer, I wrote the following words. I believe that an intern for JOB1 and a sponsor company would open my eyes to a whole new sector of jobs and give me another chance to experience something different before I commit to a major in a career. While I'm pretty set on business and finance right now, a great internship this summer could change that and therefore change the course of my life. Fast forward a little over a year, I can say with complete certainty that my experience with JOB1 really has changed the course of my life. I entered college very focused on business and finance. While I am still leaving that door open with major in economics, I have recently added a major in data science. This is largely due to my time working with SQL and data analysis as an intern at the Roscoe Company. I did not expect to enjoy working with data as much as I did. So if it not for this incredible opportunity to have a real and meaningful internship where I felt genuinely useful, I would likely not have even considered entering the tech field. And as we know, women are so much, and girls are so much less likely to enter STEM and tech fields. And these internships and these opportunities to show them and to show all of our students that they can do it and that this is for them is why we have this program. So I'd also like to ask Teresa Pan to come up to receive an additional $1,200 Carl Zimmerman Award. I overlooked some students that are not here. Brandon Chang was here last year. He received an additional college award. He went to Princeton last year and he could not be here with us today because he's taking a wonderful trip around Alaska. And, you know, so I know I'm very sad for him. And he's also getting an additional $1,000 Carl Zimmerman Award also. And Xavier Garciaos, who I believe is on Zoom with us today, is also receiving a $1,500 college award. So that is for them. And then we have our Ryler Scholarship. And for those who don't know, which I didn't know for a long time, Ryler is a Rotary Youth Leadership Award. And so every year around Columbus Day, Rotary, all the districts, they get together and every district holds a Ryler conference in which they bring in students from all over their districts and all the clubs sponsor students to come out, and they come together and learn how to be leaders and talk to each other and learn leadership skills and talk about what they can do in their communities to be a part and to better their communities and to better the world at large. And so this year, Alexa will be our Ryler recipient. And so I'm getting ready for my year as president next year. I am going to induct our new member, Adriana, today into Rotary. It is my great pleasure on behalf of the Board of Directors and the members of the Rotary Club of Chicago to welcome you, see, they put it in plural, see, as a member of Rotary 1. We welcome you not only for the fine fellowship that we shall share, but also for your talents, abilities, and enthusiasm that will help us to carry out our many projects to make our community, our country, and the world a better place in which to live. Rotary is not a political organization, but all Rotarians are vitally concerned with everything pertaining to good citizenship and the election of good men and women to public office. Rotary is not a charitable organization, yet its activities exemplify the charity and sacrifices that one should expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. Rotary is not a religious organization, but it is built on those eternal principles that have served as the moral compass for people throughout the ages. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to upholding the highest professional standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide friendship and international peace can be achieved when business people unite under the banner of service. You have been chosen for membership in the Rotary Club of Chicago because your fellow Rotarians believe you to be a leader in your profession and because you manifest the intelligence and commitment of heart that fit you to interpret and impart the message of Rotary. You are a representative of your profession in this club, and any information of an educational value pertaining to that profession must naturally come to us through you. At the same time, you become an ambassador for us to your profession, and we rely on you to carry the principles and ideals of service, which we hear inspired to those who share your professional activity. The community will know and judge Rotary by your embodiment of it in character and service, and we accept you as a member because we know our principle and organization will be safe in your keeping. We also expect you to give us the inspiration that will help us to become better Rotarians. And it's with this hope that I ask to invest you with the distinguishing pen of a Rotarian and gladly offer you the right hand of Rotary Fellowship. And she also will be receiving her district pen that says the birthplace of Rotary. Actually, I want to take these out before. Yeah, we'll just. Thank you. Schedule we are. Is Nitha on the Zoom?
Alita, she is. Let's see if she's able to unmute.
Well, while she's unmuting, I'm also our district DEI chair. And so for all of our members in the district that are on Zoom and are in this room, we have launched a wonderful DEI survey to help us to become the best Rotary district and best Rotary clubs that we can be, but we cannot be that without knowing where we are and who we serve in order so that we can better reflect the communities in which we serve. And so with that, we need to know how our membership feels. We need to know what our membership consists of. And it's the first ever survey of this kind in Rotary International. Rotary does not collect that type of information, but this new information that we are collecting about race, religion, how you identify, sexual orientation, all of these things, so that we can be the best, most inclusive, diversified, and equitable district and clubs around, so that we can be the leaders as the birthplace of Rotary to all the other districts and all the other states and zones around. So I implore all of you, and once you've received the email, you've already got it, it's coming out again, to please take that 10 or 15 minutes that it takes to fill out the survey so that at the end of the week, when we put it all together, and we can come back and let you all know where we stand and make improvements for us to be better. And with that, we are starting our own DEI committee in Rotary One that Neetha is the chair. And she
Alita, I don't see that Neetha has unmuted.
Okay, and so Neetha would like to ask if anyone would like to be a part of our club's DEI committee to please reach out to her or to the office, and they will make sure that you all get together so that we can have a robust DEI committee of our own. Next, on July 5th, the team from Link Unlimited, along with myself and Marshall Schmidt, who's right there, we kicked off our pilot program to partner with Link to create a transformational mentor and initiative with Rotary One that will build on our commitment to disadvantaged youth. We now need mentors to make that program work. Our goal is to provide at least 10 mentors for the coming school year. A total of 8 people from Rotary One and Chicago Southeast have expressed interest. We would love a few extra people to ensure that our program has the critical mass for success. And Jennifer is going to give us a brief overview of who Link Unlimited is and who we serve.
Thank you, Alita. So Link Unlimited Scholars, unfortunately, has been the best kept secret in Chicago for far too long. We are a 56-year-old program. And in a nutshell, we serve specifically the African-American communities of Chicago. And we provide them with all of the supplemental programming in addition to tutoring support, guidance through their school counselors, ACT and SAT prep, all summer programming, as well as internship career panels and other wonderful activities that get them ready for college. And so I'm glad to say since 2000, 100% of our scholars have graduated the program with a 3.6 GPA and above, have attended top 50 universities with full scholarship tuition, and many of them have full fee coverage. Yes. But the defining factor that makes our program model proven and what sets us apart from a lot of our amazing sister organizations out there is that we do for their entire 4-year fellowship participation in our program, we pair them with a mentor who experiences to, through, and beyond college and walks that journey with them and provides them additional support and guidance for them and for their families as well. So if you are interested in becoming one of those special individuals to help guide these incredible youth along in their academic journey, please come see me or Alita or Marshall, who is the Rotary representative for Link Unlimited Scholars. Thank you.
And I can speak to how great Link Unlimited is as a Link Unlimited alum. And I cannot say that I probably would not have been here if it wasn't for Link and for many opportunities that I received from Link, because when I started in Link, it was mostly a scholarship program to go to parochial schools. And my mother, who's a single parent on very limited income, felt it was most important for me to get the best education that I could get. And she felt that was at a parochial school, although that was not what she could afford. And so I spent 3 wonderful summers going to school during the summer with the help of Link and my sponsor that helped me go to a Catholic school so that I could get the best education possible, so that I could go to University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana on a full needs scholarship and graduate with a 3.7 or higher also. So it's a great organization. Okay, our upcoming Rotary One meetings, please check the Rotary One website. This will be a slide coming up soon. The International Service Committee meeting is on August 11th. The membership meeting is on August 19th. PR and marketing is also on the 19th, and community service is on September 1st. Our upcoming meetings on August 16th, we have Cook County Assessor Fritz Kagi, I think. That would be in person and on Zoom. On August 23rd, Steve Vallis from Chicago Votes. And on August 30th, Paul Vallis, the former CEO of Chicago Public Schools and mayoral candidate, sorry, that will also be in person and on Zoom. And because she's my intern, she gets wrapped in the stuff. Come on up here, Marisol. Can we bring up, there we go. So we're gonna do the four-way test, which is on the screen over there. So if everyone could stand, and we're going to say the four-way test of the things that Rotarians think, say, or do. Number one. Number two. Number three, feel goodwill and better friendships. And number four, will be beneficial to all concerned. And number five is we will have fun. It shall be fun. I thank you all for being here today. I do need all the students and employers to come up to the front for our mandatory photos. Oh, and of course, I would love to thank Secretary Jesse White for being here today. And if you would like to say any closing.
Thank you very much, Alita. And to you, ladies and gentlemen, for the ladies, I'm in your purse, and for the men, I'm in your wallet. And don't leave home without me. I'm talking about your driver's license and your state ID. I've had the great pleasure of serving as your Illinois Secretary of State for the past 23 and a half years. In January, we'll right off into the sunset. Special thanks to my good friend Walter Burnett, Alderman of the 27th Ward, for his commitment to duty. Not only have you taken on the job, but you've taken on responsibility that goes with it. I just want you to know that your efforts have not gone unnoticed. And then, of course, we have Yvonne Jones, who is the director of the Jesse White tumbling team and a graduate of National. And she's the best and the brightest, the sharpest knife in the drawer. And then, of course, Alita, Walt, Jose, and Mrs. Stawicki. They've helped the Jesse White tumbling team and the foundation with our gift and our participation in a program called the Trunk Party for 8 years. And it's a program that is designed to give young people the tools that they need in order to enter into college and have what they need in order to function properly. I tell the parents, we'll take care of the school supplies, you take care of the scholarship. And as it has turned out, a lot of young people have been able to realize their dreams and to move on in society to be a better person. I believe that when you come to this world and you become successful, you get back. But every day you must do something good for someone. That's how I run my life. I've had the great pleasure of being the coach and founder of the Jesse White tumbling team for 63 years, with over 18,000 young people. And my mission is to help young people to grow tall and straight, stay away from gangs, drugs, those negative aspects of life. We tell them in life, we always want them to look up. The only time we want them to look down is to tie their shoes. I want to thank everyone for its giving and caring spirit and for making this world a better place for all of us. Thank you for giving. Thank you for caring. And thank you for making the difference.
And what better way to end our meeting today? Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting JOB1. Thank you.